in a perfect world, I would always want food that is sourced properly, cooked perfectly, and enjoyed with friends and family. But the most important part of that equation for me is enjoyed with friends and family. And when you're around people that you love, the food is very forgivable at that point, and mistakes can happen, and it doesn't matter because you're around people that you really care about. And you know, that's why like some people have memories of dishes that their parents made when they were kids because it brings them back to a place.
You can't really recreate
and
that.
then they eat it as an adult and they're like, this is awful. You eat it, it is like, who here remembers the Flats? A lot of people my age remember the Flats. Now, we all had a lot of good times in the Flats. And I remember, we're not gonna name the name of the place, but for years, going down to the Flats with friends and whooping it up and getting this delicious sandwich that used to sell outside of the flat, like right outside of the bars in the Flats. And it was the greatest sandwich ever known to man. I moved to New York, I told people about this sandwich. I told the world about the sandwich. It's the greatest sandwich I've ever had. About 10 years ago, me and my buddies, with their children and my older son, went to a Browns game. After the Browns game, we were dead sober because we were with our kids. We went to this place to get a sandwich. Worst damn sandwich I have ever had in my life. And I kept looking at my
sober.
I kept looking at my buddy Jimmy. I'm like, what's wrong with this thing? He goes, dude, we haven't had anything to drink. He goes, we're not celebrating. We're not having a good time with hot chicks that we just met hanging out. We're with our kids, dead sober, eating an awful sandwich. And it was an awful sandwich.
Did your kids like it?
No, they were like, they all looked at us.
The kids were sober too?
The kids were sober too. And they all looked at us like, every one of them, oh man, Dad, this sandwich sucks. Like, you've been talking about this sandwich forever. I'm like, oh boy, it's so different now. But we still had fun because we were with our kids. We were with our buddies.
That's so true. And you know,
That's the most important part.
We're lucky. I'm from, I have Italian background. Yenny's from Cuba. You're Greek, Italian. You got a big mismatch. Those are all great food lineages. We were shooting an episode up in Monroe, Minnesota. A lot of Norwegian people there, and their thing is lutefisk.
Yeah.
So all the kids have these memories of their grandmother's delicious lutefisk, and they had me try it, and it tastes like whale snot. It's
Have
the
you guys
worst.
ever had it?
It's not good.
Do we have any lutefisk? Am I correct, sir? It tastes like a
there it
polar
is.
bear puked on a cookie.
Yeah. They literally rot it,
Right.
and then they go, try this, it's delicious.
They cook it in live.
Yeah,
No, they cook it, but they don't eat it.
Yeah, it's
They
rot.
give it to people, they don't eat it.
They don't eat it
No.
themselves.
Yet those people still have those same warm.
It's the memory.
My grandmother made this, and they'll always love it.
tradition.
We're lucky because at least my grandmother's food was actually empirically
Oh,
excellent.
exactly.
Yeah, and my parents' food, my mom can
Cuban
cook.
Food,
Oh.
I mean, my grandma's a great cook. My mom's a great cook. So, I mean, the answer your question from before, my favorite thing to eat, the meal I want on my deathbed is my mom's lasagna, made by my mom, which could be challenging, you know, but because it's everything to me. It's perfectly delicious. It brings me back to a fantastic place.
Your mommy.
And my mom, and then every time that she makes it still, it's for some celebration. It's a holiday, a birthday, you know. So those are the kind of foods to me that are the most special.
Well, and they've also scientifically proven that the way the brain retains memory, it has a lot to do with smell and a lot to do with taste. And eating is very much to do with smell as well.
Right.
And pair that up with a great memory.
Well, right,
A
that's what
great
happens.
Experience.
That gets burned into your head when you're 5 or 6 years old, and it's almost like you're tasting echoes of that every time you eat it as an adult. I don't think it's possible to erase it.
Absolutely.